Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Podcast for a Wednesday, the last day of August, August 31st, 2022. That can only mean one thing. The one thing is I've got Becky Alley on the podcast, just Becky and I. Good morning, Becky.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Happy last day of August. Not really, though. I mean, I'm being kind of sarcastic. It means the end of the summer here in Michigan. Becky, it's Labor Day weekend. And traditionally, you know what that means. Kids are back in school, end of the summer, leaves start turning, it starts getting colder. I mean, what's going on with that?
Yeah, I got a 9-year-old that's pumped to go back to school, and I got a 15-year-old that doesn't want to go back to school. So it's each end of the spectrum, depending on who you're talking to. I can't believe it's August, though. This year has went by really, really fast.
It's gone by so quickly. And we've actually had a very, very good summer. In terms of weather has been great. Home buying, it hasn't slowed down for us, but we're going to talk about what the Federal Reserve Chairman has said, what the realtor community said, what home prices are indicating. But the home purchase activity we've experienced this summer has been one of our best years on record in terms of home purchases, Becky. So, let's get into it right now. Updating what the Fed Chairman indicated. Jerome Powell came on last week. The markets took a tumble. I think the stock market's been down 4 days in a row now. Basically, rates are going up. The economy, very concerned about inflation in the economy. The economic indicators point to still very high inflation, trying to get back to a 2% a year inflationary status. I don't know if that can happen. 2% is awful low from what we have seen. The last 2.5 years have been times like we've never seen in our lifetime. Rates going down to 2.5%, Becky, and now they're in the sixes.
Mm-hmm.
So the results that we've seen, they're at the highs. They're holding steady, but they're at the highs. They're in the sixes. And Becky Alley, going forward, we're going to see much of the same. That's what all indicators are. I've been doing this a while. It feels like that, but this is really a normal market, Becky. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on the market right now?
We are approaching a normal market, but it's a normal market to people that have 2 decades worth of experience or a decade and a half. I mean, you have a lot of real estate agents and mortgage lenders. If you have under 10 years experience, you've never seen something like this. So there is a little bit of panic from some people that, and it's not about experience. It's just, you don't know what you don't know. So if you haven't experienced something like this, you wouldn't know that the rates are the same that they were in 2006. Okay. And that's where we're at right now. At that time in 2006, we've talked about it before, the rates were fantastic. So you kind of have to shut your eyes to what the last 2 years have been, because it's been a time of, reaping with the crops that were just planted over the last 10 years to get people off of the bad mortgages from, 2 decades before I even got in the business. Right. So it's been this time frame where now they feel like they've gotten everyone out of those mortgages. So now we're seeing another cycle. There's patterns, right? So if you can recognize patterns and, like I'm big on that, it, and you're in a cycle, we've seen these before. So the rates are going to continue to go up a little bit. I don't think we're going to see these exponential jumps that we saw from, let's just say, January 1st to March 1st, right? Those were huge jumps that we've seen. I don't think we're going to see those kind of hikes like we've seen before. I do think the market's going to settle, but we are going to see the rates. They're going to stay in the high fives, sixes, I think, for the remaining part of the year and for the next couple of years, to be honest.
Yeah, I would concur.
It was unsustainable. The rates that we saw over the last 2 years and the way that it was affecting the purchase market, it was unsustainable.
So it's our job to set our clients up for success and really set their expectation level to where it is. Got to forget about 2020, 21. Those rates are never coming back. Never is a long time.
Maybe in another 50 years. I don't know. We'll see.
I believe in I believe in longevity. Never. We'll never see rates at 2.5. Never going to happen again. So if they do, that's the bonus. That's the hairy bet. Not going to happen. So Becky, what do we do? And last week you attended a realtor. I'm going to call it a seminar. Let's just call it an event. And how are the realtors and the realtor community at the event that you were at? How are they? First of all, number one, how are they setting their clients up for what's going to happen the remainder of the year? And then what is their thought process, their perspective on the home buying market for the remainder of 2022 and going into 2023. That had to be a topic of conversation.
Yes. And to be honest with you, first and foremost, I was so humbled and honored to be in the room with top agents nationally and even worldwide. I mean, you have people from Mexico and Canada in the same room with people from North Carolina, Michigan, Florida, all over the place. And you're talking top producers, millionaires. I mean, literally millionaires, billionaires. Tony Robbins was in the room. I mean, it was just mind blowing, just the growth, the camaraderie, the collaboration over competition. And the big thing was winter is coming, is what they kind of was the direct message, is that if you have not been in the market and you haven't been in the industry for 10 years or less, you're going to be experiencing things that you've never experienced before. You're going to have to work harder. You're going to have to set these proper expectations. Houses are going to be sitting on the market longer, right? A normal market is houses sitting on the market for 30 days sometimes, right? And you're already seeing these sellers gasping when a house is sitting on the market for even 7 days. So that was a lot of the topic of setting those proper expectations and setting the tone that the reaping is going to be over now. And it's about being able to have those communications, going into your database and preparing yourself for to have to work harder to get clients, to sell homes. And it's going to be normal for these houses to sit a little bit longer. And it was a lot of topics of, goals, getting deeper with yourself, right? What are you trying to accomplish? Why haven't you accomplished these things? And more importantly, what are you going to gain by accomplishing your goals? So they literally bared their souls on stage as far as what they're doing, how they're doing it, the systems they have in place to help the agents of today become better. And it was amazing to be in the room, because I feel, Harry, as well, is like when I was hearing them talk, I have to say that everything they're saying is exactly what we say. And it was very humbling, but it was also reassuring to know that we are on point. We are on topic. Not only are we talking about what's going local, but we also are very much in tune with what's going on nationally. And when you are in the room with these amazing minded people and know that here at Capital Mortgage Funding, we've been talking about this for a year, and you take it for granted, but we are right on point with exactly what the message is. We are putting the proper expectations for our referral partners, and to be in line with that kind of conversation was definitely reassuring to not only Capital Mortgage Funding, but who we're able to touch and help in their lives.
Yeah. So Becky, what I'm hearing from you is the same thing, and going other places and hearing other minds, great minds, experienced minds from around the country, around the world, people that you don't know, but when they say and they confirm what your beliefs are, it's invigorating. It's reassuring. You get goosebumps when you hear somebody say the same things that you've been saying and other people that you work with day to day. I feel the same way as you do. Well, also what I'm hearing, Becky, from you, and I was not at the event. Okay. So, and you have not, and I have not rehearsed any of this.
No.
What I'm hearing you say is that it's going to be going back to old school, nose to the grindstone, taking every client, making sure that we're helping each of them day to day. It's a day-to-day thing. You have to have your disciplines and what you do day to day, working for you now more than ever, because everybody was spoiled for 2.5 years. I mean, that had to be a topic of conversation there as well.
Yes, it was for sure, without a doubt, a conversation, and it was the biggest part of the conversation. If I'm being honest with you, sorry, I was getting a call. Was about the day-to-day grind and just that old school mentality. You're absolutely right, and the market changing. It's already changed. So if you're already talking about the market, it wasn't the market shift is shifting. It's already shifted. And if you're talking about it shifting, you're already behind the 8 ball. You have to be looking forward, and it's already shifted, and it's shifting daily, right? The market, we haven't seen a market like this in a long time, where you're watching it transition and then it stops for a second and then you watch it transition again. But what they're doing and the end result is going to be what we've been talking about, where buyers are going to have to not have, you're going to see under asking prices getting accepted, and sellers are going to have to come off they're a little bit of a high horse, but we're still so far away from a buyer's market regardless, that sellers are going to have, they are going to have like the leverage, but you are seeing where buyers and sellers are getting both their boxes checked, and you're seeing more transactions fall apart because of bad financing.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the shift. Now, the last 30 days, we have told people that this is not the same market. We used the number 90 days ago. This isn't the same market it was 90 days ago. It's not even the same market it was 60 days ago, and it won't be the same market 90 days from now. Home prices right now, Becky, as you know, everybody out there knows, are mixed throughout the country. There's a report that's out there, and they're talking about year over year from last year that home prices are up 18% over last year. From this time last year, they're up 18%. However, there's another report that over the next 3 months, home prices are going to, and we use the term, you ready, everybody? Stabilize. They're going to stabilize. So what we're seeing, and it's finally happening, the stabilization of the market, and the other word, shift in the market from where things were in 2020 through mid this year, just a month ago, is happening right now before our very eyes, and it's shifting rapidly. Still, though, Beck, buyers there are a plethora of buyers, and there's still low inventory levels, relatively speaking. Buyers are just being more cautious, and like you said, sellers are going to have to give up a little more, maybe a lot more, and the possibility of concessions and coming off list price. Like we said, the market has shifted, Becky.
Yeah, it's already happened. And here in Michigan, we tend to see the reaction of the market delayed. So I feel like it happens on the coast, and then it brings into us. So, when you're talking to people from California, the sellers, they're already telling their sellers, take the offer. If you have an offer, take it, because houses are sitting longer. I have a client trying to sell their house in North Carolina. It's already been sitting on the market for 30 days. And they're talking about price reductions and things like that, right? So you're talking about West Coast and East Coast. The good thing about Michigan and our clients is, again, because we're a national lender, so we know what's happening everywhere. And then when you hear what's happening everywhere, it's like, yes, okay, we are true. But Michigan is still one of the most affordable states, so like rents everywhere else, people are priced out of the market, even for rent in California, New York, forget about it. Okay. North Carolina, those are huge, where people are having a hard time finding places to rent, let alone the affordability. We have someone that's looking for a condo, and they'll settle for anything as long as it's 2 bedrooms and their budget's $250, and they're praying that they can find something they can afford. So in Michigan, you can still get a lot of house for your money. And that's something that I like to communicate to our buyers, because you get spoiled, you don't know what you don't know, and the affordability changes, but you can buy a lot of house for $250,000 here in Michigan. Okay. You're not priced out. You can afford to buy a home. So people are getting caught up on these rates, and that's not the issue, right? If you can afford the rent payment, you can afford a house for that equivalent rent payment. You can do it. And, it's really the down payment assistance or the funds for closing that I still feel is the biggest issue for most buyers right now.
Yeah, this is the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Podcast, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, equal housing lender, NMLS number 2289. It is Wednesday, the last day of August 31st. We've got the holiday weekend coming up. Becky, let's talk about, and then we'll move into our event that we're having on September 15th. Are the realtors that you're talking to and that you've been at that have been around the country, are we seeing more sellers giving concessions? I mean, what are you seeing? Are they coming off price specifically, or giving concessions, or both in our market area and elsewhere? What do you hear?
It is a little bit of both. You are going to see more concessions coming on, and buyers are asking for them. If you don't ask, the answer is no anyway. And they know that the sellers are getting to a point where if they know a seller really has to sell, they are being a little bit more aggressive. The buyers, I should say, are being more aggressive with what they are asking. So yes, they are, and it's setting up those conversations with those sellers on how to go about doing a price reduction with them, because just like a buyer, they want their Oompa Loompa. And right now, a seller does the same thing. I want a bidding war. I want this and I want that. But the sellers, I feel like, are now having to heed the advice of the agents and realizing that, the market's going to tell you if the house is going to sell or not. And, the buyers are experienced and they're going to start demanding more for their money instead of just being desperate and FOMO and feel like this is going to be the last house on the face of the earth. The buyers have realized that they have a little bit more leverage. So to answer your question, yes, coming off price concessions, that is going to be a little bit more of a norm, like it was before.
All right, topic of going in the fourth quarter, Becky, just to recap what we've been talking about here on the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Podcast. The shift in the market, stabilization of home prices. We think the rates are going to continue to go up incrementally. The Fed says that they might do another 75 basis point hike in the rate. That translates to maybe a quarter in rate in mortgage rates. The realtor community is in tune with the lending community. We have to set our buyers up for success. We have to set our clients up for success. We have to temper their expectations. Houses aren't going to sell in a day anymore. If they do, that's phenomenal. And rates aren't going to be at 2.5. So we've established all that.
Yes.
And it's fun. Becky, tell everybody about the VIP event that we're doing September 15th at Fifth Avenue in Royal Oak. What do we got going on there?
We're super excited about it. So it's been a long time coming for the Hardcore Mortgage Show to go on the road. So we're calling it the road show, if you will. And, we're going to be in there with the top agents locally. It's extended to anyone that's in the real estate community, whether title, real estate. We want you in the room because nothing is better than having like-minded individuals being in tune, growing, and hearing from the top agents within the area, right? Everyone can grow, everyone can learn. So we're going to have some of the top agents, addressing the crowd, asking them some point questions. We're going to do it right there live. And then it's just going to be a mix and mingle because you never know that one conversation could change your life. And if someone that is doing something that you're not doing and they're willing to plug into you to help you grow, because ultimately the real estate industry and the lending industry, our success is based off everyone else's success, right? So if I know something and I can share it with somebody, just like we share our knowledge every Wednesday, every Saturday, right? It's a consumer advocacy, whether you're using us or not, you can plug into us and we're here to help you. So we're really pumped about the Hardcore Mortgage Show. We want you there. If you want to be invited, reach out to me directly, reach out to Harry directly. You can hit us up on our Facebook Capital Mortgage Funding page. We want you there. We want it, but this is invite. So just make sure if you want to come, and if we missed you for whatever reason, unintentionally, definitely let us know because we want to see your face.
Yeah, if you just pick up one thing,
Yeah.
or if you don't learn anything new, but it just reaffirms what your thought process is, it could be exciting for you, it could be invigorating for you. There's going to be a lot of people there that have a lot of experience because you need experience in a shifting market. The market is not going to be the way it was. So you need to hear from all these people. I'm excited about it. We are taking the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show / podcast on the road. It's going to be a great time. It's been a long time coming, like Becky said. Should have done it before. Never met a microphone we didn't like, especially Becky and I, that's for sure. But anyways, we love it. And, we're honored to bring the show to you every weekend, 97.1 FM, 9 to 10 every Saturday. This Saturday we're off because it's the Labor Day holiday. And we feel that our people need to get recharged, re-energized over the holiday weekend. Becky, what are you doing over the weekend? You doing anything special?
I'm going to be getting caught up. Like when you take some time off, sometimes you got to be working on the business, not in the business. So I went to that conference in Texas. It was me working on the business instead of in the business, but now I got to get caught up. So I probably will be working, doing some family stuff. I'm not going anywhere super cool, but spending time with my family in the interim of me getting caught up. That's all I need in my life right now anyway. So.
Well, that's wonderful. And you know what? You got two little ones. One wants to go back to school. The other one doesn't want to go back to school. So there's that friction in between. Well, everybody out there, I want to thank Roberto Beauchesne, our producer director of the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Podcast. Also, John Kolb on his way up north. Want to thank him. Harvey Freeds at a closing. Lisa, we want to wish you well. Lisa's a little bit under the weather. Everybody out there, have a happy and safe Labor Day weekend. We want to promote the safety aspect of it because, hey, it's just the way where we are in our life. Everybody has to be safe. Becky, from me to you, I'll talk to you soon. Glad to see you back. Always, I love having you on as just a primary guest. So much to share, so much information, so much energy. Everybody out there, this has been the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate and Business Podcast for August 31st. Unfortunately, the unofficial last day of summer here in Michigan. Be safe, everybody, and we'll see you soon.